Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in whichever part of the world that you are, and welcome to Learnamytes, where learning is for all and all that we do is for learning. 2015, there was a concert in Pune which I attended, and which was the venue of that concert was Ramanbagh High School, which is a famous venue where these concerts used to be conducted. What happened in that concert on that evening, I still can't forget. It was the last day of the concert, and there were two amazing players, two amazing musicians who were on stage, and they mesmerized the audience, literally mesmerized. I mean, that is the word. What was this concert all about, and who were these artists? Of course, I'm going to talk about it a bit later. In fact, today's guests are the right people to speak about the concert, to talk about music, to talk about life, to talk about journey as students. In the last episode, we were very fortunate, and it's our privilege that we could host an artist of the caliber of Pandit Atulkumar Upadhye. In this episode, we are going to meet two of his very special students. Now, who are they and what are we going to talk about? I think let's begin. But before that, please like and share this episode as much as you can, and please subscribe to the Learnamytes channel. Please watch the video till the very end, as there is a special surprise for all of you towards the end of the video. Thank you so much. Let's begin. Let's meet these students. These students are Tejas Upadhye and Rajas Upadhye. So on the Learnamytes channel, I extend a very warm welcome to Rajas and Tejas, the two brothers, and of course the students of Pandit Atulkumar Upadhye. So first of all, let me begin by asking you a question. Maybe Tejas Dada, I think we can start with you. I know it's a very cliched question, but what is, or how do you look at music? How do you define music? And how is it being the student of someone like Pandit Atulkumar Upadhye? What have been the experiences? I know if you can share that with our audience, so that will help us understand more about your way of learning.
So about music, what I feel is music is one of what we can say the easiest way to connect with God. That is what I feel about music. And basically, the big challenge over here is when your guru is your father. So basically, whenever you perform anywhere, you are compared to the maestro himself.
Absolutely.
So basically, the challenge over here is to do something different. Yet not forget your roots. So that is the basic challenge. So,
Correct.
So there are pros and cons about having a guru as your father also.
Okay. Rajesh?
Yeah, I think I second completely to what he just spoke. But more importantly, I believe that there's a responsibility bestowed upon us. When we say responsibility, we fall in the third generation. We are the lucky third generation, as we can say.
Absolutely.
A legacy which my grandfather started, perhaps just because his interest and passion for music came through violin, and then my father took it over. I think they have created the foundation, and to carry that forward is a responsibility for us. But most importantly, the music element in it should not be missed, because that is only the creativity.
Yeah.
I mean, if you agree with me, being an actor, you know that music is all about creativity.
Absolutely. 100%.
So unless and until your personality comes in your music, everything else will just fall apart. But having such a guru who gives you the entire freedom to explore your music, a small thing that I always share with everyone around me. My friends know that this, my people who are my audience to my.
I'm also one of your friends, huh? Please remember.
Of course.
Yes.
That's why we are sitting here, Girish.
Absolutely. Yes, Rajesh.
So I always say ki he never asked us ki do you want to play the violin.
Okay.
He was just ensuring that when our violin was being played, we are around.
Okay.
So if at all we connect with the music, we pursue that. And that is something that has always stayed over here, and that is coming out as an output,
Absolutely.
which we call music.
So I'd like to add on.
Yep.
So we were always given the liberty and freedom to have a career of our own choice.
Correct.
Nothing was forced upon us.
Absolutely.
You have to go through music or you have to work somewhere. Nothing was basically forced. So this liberty came to us because of the hardships that our
Panditji has gone through, and of
father has
course,
gone through.
yeah, certainly.
He worked in a bank basically,
Oh,
Rally.
yes.
So the big challenge over there was the financial hardships which
Yeah.
the previous generation faced.
Yes.
So it didn't affect our careers basically.
True.
So that is so this is the freedom and liberty given to us, and music being such a different field,
Yeah.
it's a big challenge. The music actually differs day in day out basically.
Mhm.
So music is never completed. You
Yes.
can't completely learn music. You have to enhance yourself. You have to keep on going, and this liberty was given to us.
Yeah.
I'll go one step ahead when you said how difficult it is to
Or how easy it is.
how
Both
easy-
ways, like Dada said.
I'll tell you a different perspective of it.
Sure.
After Baba, Tejas was there. So
Yeah.
just for our viewers, he's the elder one. So
And that's why I'm calling him Dada.
I'd love to acknowledge that because it doesn't appear so, but I'm working on it, by the way. So my point of view over here is,
Yes.
I have not only just compared to Baba, but there is always something that a precedence is set.
Absolutely.
And then to take it forward, there is a necessity to create a path of your own,
Yes.
as well as ensure that their names are attached with me.
Mm.
And that is the kind of, when I say responsibility,
Yeah.
it is a responsibility of not only my father but also him. Since he's an elder one, he has already been in front of people for a longer time than me,
Certainly.
obviously. So my own creativity and my responsibility mix and match gives me my music.
Right.
So that is something that
Yes.
we enjoy.
So basically, while performing, you have to ensure that you perform something different day in day out
Yeah.
without disturbing the roots.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that is the beauty of music.
Yes.
It is very spontaneous.
Yeah.
It is very versatile,
Yeah.
and it is different day in day out when it comes to classical music.
And I think it is heartfelt, right? At the end of the day, like you said, Dada, it is connecting with the Almighty, with the God.
So you become a complete musician. So there are basically certain steps to it.
Mhm.
First, you have to try to ensure that you try and connect with the Almighty.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have to go into that meditative state.
Yes.
And after that, you have to try and take everyone listening to you and try to connect them to the Almighty. So then, that is a definition of a pure classical musician and a complete
Absolutely.
musician.
Absolutely. I agree. Uh, Dada Rajesh, in 2015, I believe there was in a way, it was a watershed moment for the classical music, because there was a wonderful movie directed by Subodh Bhave, and of course, so I felt, I mean, again, you guys can throw some more perspective on that, but I felt that that movie, in a way, again started connecting the youth with classical music. That's why I use the word watershed moment. So, do you really believe it happened in this way? And how do you see today's youngsters? Are they connected with classical music, or how are their interests? Because, like you said, Dada, that reminded me that music gets updated. So, the way Western music has updated, I'm sure the same has happened to the Indian classical music. So, did you feel that Katyar Karzat Ghusli or some experiments like Katyar, it again brought the audience back to classical music, or it connected it? So, how do you look youth and classical music? I mean, that's what my question is.
So basically, what I believe is visual form of art is the one that you always remember, basically.
Yeah.
So putting a classical movie on screen itself is a revelation, I guess, basically. And yes, the youth did get more connected and basically more into classical music because of that movie. You can call it like that.
So, one of the moments.
One of the moments. Yeah.
Yep.
And Natya Sangeet is like one of the very favorite genre when it comes to Maharashtra, at least I can say.
Certainly.
So knowing what people love and portraying it in such a nice way.
Yeah.
That is what I think was a big thing and a revolution in music.
Uh-huh.
That is what I think.
And how do you find the youngsters? I mean, I'm sure that during the shows and after the shows, there would be people who would come and ask, and especially parents, कि आमच्या मुलाला violin शिकायचं आहे किंवा we'll talk about the Violin Academy, which is, I think, it's the legacy which Pandit ji has created over the years. So, is there that interest? Do you see these youngsters, these kids want to pick up the violin, start playing, or is there something on those lines?
Yeah, I can say that, but the fact of the matter is, like, what people basically are, how they are looking at music is a very different way, different thing, you can say.
Yep.
So basically, what is their mindset is a different thing. They feel that Natya Sangeet is the bigger picture and classical music is just a small part of it.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
Exactly.
So there have been students coming and approaching me that I want to learn Natya Sangeet.
Yes.
So basically they have to go through the journey. It's not like I can just teach you Aruna Kirani or something like that, what you said.
Absolutely.
It's a big challenge. It is composed by a legend and sung by one. So basically they have to understand, to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You have to first go through the basics. That is classical music.
Yeah.
It is the base, and there are many parts about it. Like there is Natya Sangeet, there is Sugam Sangeet, then there is Ghazal. Those are all forms of classical music.
Perfect.
So basis, if you get it right, that is a message to the students which I'd like to.
So to all our viewers, those who wish their kids should be seen on television in all these reality shows and all of that. So I think the base definitely is classical music, and that is where one should start. So pure classical music, and that takes you to these different forms, as you mentioned, Dada. Rajesh, your experience?
Okay, so I'll first and foremost say for a life, we are lucky that we got a guru in the form of our father.
Atulji.
There is a very different concept which I would like to share with all of you. We say students are lucky to get a great view, but it is also the other way around. A bridge will be called a bridge if it has two ends.
Absolutely.
It is same for music. Unless and until there is someone who is guiding you, someone who is directing you, then and then only you will try to know what is a goal. Forget about achieving it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it is a dark path and you are just moving because the human behavior is to go ahead.
True.
Having said that, the youth connecting with classical music, see, everyone is on a mobile today. Whatever comes on that mobile is something that gets attached to you.
True.
The influence of social media, especially in the last 1 decade, has been so high that it has transformed in a good way for music also, because a lot of artists are using that.
The media.
Absolutely. Which was not happening previously. And that is why you are seeing more and more youth getting associated with it.
Yes.
I remember one incident in 2017 in Swarajankar. We have this music education program running in a lot many schools, and we used to invite all those students to come and attend a festival, Swarajankar. So after the concert, Baba went on stage and asked Pandit Shivkumar Sharma ji that there are a lot of young
kids or fellows
sitting right in front of you.
Yes.
Are you okay if one or two questions come up from them in a live festival? I'm saying after the concert.
Yeah.
So he was like, obviously I would love to hear from them. No problem for a couple of questions. One small kid who couldn't even look at the stage like this. He was that small.
Yes.
He was carried by his father that time, and the question he asked, I mean, just see how sharp this
generation is.
This generation is. I say our generation is because I belong to that generation.
Even I would want to join this. Me and Dada as well.
So he asked him, the music you play, what is the source of that music? Can you believe a 6-year-old or a 7 or 8-year-old perhaps asking this kind of question to Shivji? If that is the kind of thought process which is getting inculcated in students, I'll say the youth, then classical music is here to stay for long miles.
So we don't, I mean, because occasionally, especially in a city like Pune, and I know I have read articles, and of course, Swarajankar and both of you, we can't separate. So we'll talk about Swarajankar in detail a bit later. But one thing which I had read that, the reporter had said that Indian classical music was going through a little bit of a lump, I would say. And then there were festivals, there are festivals like Swarajankar which have, kind of bounced back in a way, which have contributed to this legacy, this beautiful legacy of Indian classical music. So it's here to stay, right? I mean, both of you will agree with me. That's why this question, the youth and classical music.
So yeah, basically, one of the influences of social media is basically when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
There was no other platform for people to go.
Ah,
So it was a savior, you can say.
absolutely.
So Insta, your Facebook, any kind of social media, Zoom. So people basically went on to social media, and social media is one thing that everyone can connect with from
Correct.
all corners of the globe.
Absolutely.
So yeah, of course, it was a downfall for classical music because there were no physical concerts.
Correct.
But at the same time, people came to know many people,
Yes.
young artists,
Yeah.
different artists.
Exactly.
So that's one aspect you'd like to look forward to.
Okay.
And the generations have changed. Like in some previous generations, if someone asked you, what do you do? If I said I played the violin, he'll say, that's okay, but what do you do for a living? So now that has changed.
Of course, of course. I think it's thanks to people like Pandit ji and people from his generation who have done this amazing work, this body of work. So this reminds me, since you have said about nurturing youngsters. So I think apart from all your engagements as an artist, there is something which Pandit ji is also very passionate about, and he spoke about it in the previous episode, was the Violin Academy. And so how is it going, Dada? Because I believe that you are also part of it, and what do you see, what's the plan for the Violin Academy? And if anyone would like to learn violin or join the academy, so what is the kind of mindset that he or she needs, and how does one go about it? If you can throw some light on that.
Definitely. So, Violin Academy is something that I'm very proud of, basically. We have around 7 national award winners over here who have already gone through the academics in this academy. And we have a number of people who are top graded artists. So that's one thing we are very proud about. Violin is one of the most difficult instruments. Reason being, it is totally connected to your vocal cords.
Okay.
It is the closest instrument.
Oh,
The vocals, basically. Violin and sarangi are two instruments which are very much close to the vocals.
right.
And when we try to perform, what we try to do is we try and perform music which is very close to the vocals.
Oh,
So this is whatever we perform is vocal music. We try to interpret it on our instrument, basically.
wow.
So one suggestion to anyone who would like to learn an instrument like violin is, firstly, you'll need lots of patience. You should not keep any unrealistic expectation settings. Like today I'm just learning violin, and like in 2 to 3 months you're on the stage. That won't happen. On a very
Pi
serious
halad ho gori, as we say in
ऐसा
Marathi.
नहीं होता. And third thing is, you should understand the basics of vocals first. You have to learn singing first.
Oh.
Basic singing.
Okay.
Because being a blind instrument, you have to play the violin with your ears.
Okay.
So you should understand the notes first,
Yeah.
then you can play the violin.
Wow.
So that is
That is what they need. And I think, Dada, I know very cliched question again. And when I asked this question to Pandit ji, he just had a smile on his face. Riyas, practice, anything on that? I mean, how many hours, or it doesn't really matter at the end of the day?
see, when you begin, riyaz is a daily thing what you have to do. You have to spare specific and dedicated time for the same. And most importantly, more riyaz is not required. Lots of riyaz is not required, but riyaz in a right way is required.
Okay.
For that same purpose, you need a guru in front of you.
Yeah.
So riyaz has to be done, but in the right way.
Okay.
That is the message.
So that number of hours, जैसे लोग बोलते हैं कि CA की पढ़ाई करनी है तो you have to study for 4 hours, or if you have to do something in engineering you have to study for 8 hours. So music, there is nothing like 2 plus 2 is 4 or 2 plus 2 can be 0 or it can be -1 or anything.
So
Right?
the time frame for the riyas is depends on how you look at the instrument. If you have taken it as a hobby, is a different time span. You can just spare 10 to 15 minutes for the same.
Yeah.
You can do 1 liners, 2 liners. You can do that.
Yeah.
When you are looking at it as a profession,
Yeah.
that time frame can't be decided. You have to judge it for yourself.
So it is sadhana, Dada.
Exactly.
As we say, there can't be a better word, I guess, in English as well. Rajesh, your experience, since you are also a student of violin, as you always love to call yourself. So, what is your experience? I mean, in terms of riyas, in terms of what should people keep in mind if they want to learn an instrument, any instrument,
So
violin or any instrument?
I funnily remembered this when Dada was speaking.
Uh-huh.
Something my father told us. Earlier, people just used to come and ask my grandfather ki, how much time will it take for me to learn violin.
So, Pandit Balkrishna Upadhye ji.
Yes.
Yes.
That's where it all started.
Yes.
He used to say you will just require 2 lives.
Wow.
But the gravity of this statement is so deep to understand that if you can correlate to that, you are started. I'll tell you the other way of it. He used to say that if you have something in you from your last life, you can achieve something in this life. And
My
if
God.
you do not achieve anything in this life, you will take it to your next life. My point is, don't get demotivated because you are doing hardships of riyas, you are doing loads of things to ensure that your music reaches out to people, but there's not enough appreciation or something that is coming your way.
ताड़ी चाहिए थे.
हाँ. Are you true to your music? That
Yeah.
is part A.
Yeah.
And are you interested in doing music for a purpose that is not all this?
Yeah.
Is important to understand.
Like Dada said, connecting with God, you know,
Yeah.
the main purpose.
Exactly. I mean, unless and until you are self-satisfied, how can you make someone else be happy with your music?
Yeah.
So one funny incident, what happened was like there was a time when the movie had come, Mohabbatein. So lots of college-going kids just approached. I was actually astonished to see a lot of people just coming for, because basically we have never made an advertisement of
No,
a class.
never
We
ever.
don't
I have
need it,
never
and
seen that,
We don't
yeah.
want it basically.
True, true. Very
so
true.
who wants to really learn it, they obviously can approach us through various sources.
Yes.
So there are a lot of people ki mujhe violin seekhna hai, I want to learn this and everything.
Yeah.
Bola, what's the source of your inspiration? He's like ki Mohabbatein. So I just suggested him, I'd rather suggest you to just carry a case on your back. You will create a same impression. You won't bother learning it. So this mindset is has to be like
Changed.
Changed.
Certain.
Has to be changed.
Certain.
So any instrument, I'm talking on behalf of all instruments,
Yeah.
may it be the sitar, may it be violin, may it be sarangi, may it be sarod. It is nothing that it's not a kind of thing that you can learn while coming and going. ऐसा नहीं है. basically.
आते जाते नहीं हो
आते जाते
सकता
नहीं
है.
हो सकता. So once you are true to yourself and once you have decided, you have to get into that instrument. You have to give focused efforts to it. You have to give dedicated time to it
Yeah.
and forget about everything else while you practice. For
So
any
the world
instrument.
has to close for you completely. No, your mobile phone is ringing and you're
Exactly.
practicing. It doesn't
Exactly.
work that way.
So again, answering to the riyas question that you
Yes.
mentioned.
Yes.
Baba has always told us that you should do riyas of things rather than doing riyas according to hours. I mean, it is easy for me to speak, but
I know.
still I'm trying to understand the
Articulate it for someone who wants to learn from scratch. Join the Violin Academy, because with your permission, Dada, we are going to share the number of Violin Academy. So all our viewers, those who are interested in joining,
Definitely.
maybe you can explain the call, and it's good for them. It's like preparing their mindset.
So
Yeah,
that,
Rajesh.
so that thing was basically if you even I'm right now speaking to you, some or the other rag is there in my head.
Uh-huh.
Whenever I'm eating, having conversations with people, there is something in the right part, that is the creative part of the brain,
Yes.
which is just keeping the riyas within me going. Today I would love to listen to Kumar Gandharva because probably his music is there in my dreams last night. You never know where is that inspiration coming from and why I want to listen to Kumarji today.
Bilkul.
So you should go a step ahead and start doing riyas of things
Okay.
and try to understand where that music is coming from and then try to represent it on your instrument.
Wonderful.
That is something that
Wonderful.
helps me.
One more thing I'd like to add.
Yes, Vadan.
While teaching, basically, how I have been taught.
Yeah.
So, if you know, we have lots of gharanas in music.
Absolutely.
So, there is in every gharana, there is a specific thing that you have to take.
Okay.
खासियत रहता है हर एक घराने का.
बिल्कुल.
So, वो मुझे basically, that is one thing taught to me by my guru and father.
By Pandit ji.
Every gharana has its own
Beauty.
beauty.
Its own USP for the lack of any other word.
Exactly. Beauty is the right word. So,
Yes.
For instance, Gwalior Gharana is there, Mewati Gharana is there. So every Gharana has its own beauty and different rags in their different styles.
Yeah.
It enhances the beauty.
Okay. Wonderful.
So that is what is being taught, and that is why basically I just tell my students,
Yeah.
learn what you like.
Uh-huh.
Don't learn what I like.
Right.
Wow.
Learn what you yourself like. I'll try to teach you that, but don't learn what I like.
And Dada, I believe this comes from, like both of you said, the freedom
Yes.
and liberty which
Exactly.
Pandit ji has given you,
Exactly.
and now you are,
Now we
giving
are-
it to your students, I
Honestly,
guess.
we are understanding more when we are percolating it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, of course, most of the things have been learned face to face with Baba, listening to him and everything.
Yeah.
Similarly, while even teaching, you learn many things.
Mm.
You understand where you are making mistakes.
Yeah.
When you are teaching him, so
Yeah.
for instance, whenever we
There's
start,
a student. Yeah.
there's a specific student in front of me.
Yeah.
So when I say ki you never look down while playing,
Huh.
so this is a thing what
So
I
some
understood
techniques
late.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to connect with the audience first.
Hmm.
Okay, it's the connection what enhances the music.
Yeah.
So when you look down,
Yeah.
ultimately you are not connecting with them.
Right.
This is what happened with me when I began.
Okay. When you started
When I
playing
began,
in
yeah,
live
yeah.
concerts.
So while
Ah.
teaching, I got that thing. Even Baba used to tell me hundreds of times, "Khali bagun नको वाजवू, नीचे देख के मत
Samor
वाजवू."
bagun.
Samor
वाजव.
bagun. You have to
हाँ.
connect with it.
Connect with the
So
audience.
there are many things which I learned while teaching.
Yeah.
So even teaching enhances your music.
Wow. So I
So
think.
I always learn from my students. Lots of things to be learned.
So can I, after listening to all this, I'm getting a feeling that after so many years of playing violin with this legacy, still today both Rajesh and Tejas Upadhye, they both believe that they are students of violin.
Yeah,
They are
we
good
always
students of violin, right?
You always will be, because unless and until you keep on learning, you won't be able to explore.
So since I cannot separate Swarajankar, and I think it's a part of this
Violin,
beautiful
yeah, yeah.
music universe that all of you have created. And I think the memory which I shared at the beginning of the episode in 2015 was the Swarajankar concert, and it was at Raman, and there was Ustad Shahid Parvez ji and of course Pandit Atulkumar Upadhye ji, and they mesmerized the audience. I mean, I have no other word. And literally, I could see people stood. There were some people who were crying. They were literally in tears. That when you said, connecting with God, that also made me just get those goosebumps. So, what is Swarajankar? And I know, I mean, of course, the journey and all that. If you both are, of course, the generation who is taking it ahead, and Pandit ji is, of course, very proud of it. So, Swarajankar, what are the milestones or anything specific about Swarajankar that you guys remember? If you can share with our viewers.
So basically, SwarZankar was a concept from my father.
Yeah.
So we are developing an academy
Okay.
in the nearby vicinity of Pune.
Uh-huh.
So it was actually a concept of fundraising for that academy.
Okay.
So this was the idea behind it.
Okay.
And Baba's theme was basically there are established artists.
Yeah.
There are great maestros like Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma, Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia, Begum Parveen Sultana. So basically, these people are stalwarts.
Certainly.
Okay. At the same time, there are lots of musicians who never get a stage,
Uh,
but who deserve it.
Certainly.
Definitely deserve it. They are very, very talented. Matlab, they are the next best thing.
Okay.
Next best thing, but
Yep.
no one knows about them.
Certainly.
So to create a platform for such kind of people,
Yeah.
so one stalwart's name will be there. Before him, this person performs. He gets a stage. Ultimately, he's called in many conferences later on.
Certainly.
So this was the criteria, idea and concept behind SwarZankar.
Such a nice thought.
So
Such a
Rajesh-
noble cause.
Rajesh will
Rajesh?
elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the foundation was laid on this concept that first and foremost, we just want to portray two artists today.
Yeah.
So that the justice time is given to them as an audience
Yes.
and as a performer
Yes.
by both ends. But one thing that I'd like to share with all is that we have never looked upon SwarZankar as just a festival or an event or an annual this thing. The calendar January SwarZankar, it has always been a celebration.
Mm.
I mean, we are here to celebrate music. We as musicians understand that when music is giving happiness, what we feel
Mm.
as musicians. So, since we know that as a feeling and emotion, um, everything related to the organizing part percolates this emotion.
So it kind of falls in place. That's
Yes.
what you're saying, Rajesh.
You go ahead and ask any artist which festival do they remember the most whenever they feel of January, whenever they want to say
Welcome the new year,
welcome the
basically.
new year. I'm talking about SwarZankar in Pune specifically
Yeah.
because Vishwa Mohan ji whenever he
Pandit
leaves
Vishwa Mohan Bhatt,
SwarZankar this year, before going only he says अगले साल कब आना है.
अरे क्या बात
I
है.
mean that is something that just drives us.
Yeah.
That is why I say now every audience we go to the people sitting in Bhartiya Baitak and see their response.
I know.
The
I've got
Rasikanchi-
that goosebumps. Yeah.
the
Rasikanchi
Rasikanchi
Dad.
Dad, as we say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To the person who is sitting on the sofa, very well sophisticated person, comes from a BMW, comes from a Mercedes, and still is enjoying like a teenager.
Yeah.
That is what classical music power can be.
So basically, we have people coming from all parts of the society. There are class 1 officers, there are commissioners, there are IITians.
Yeah.
So this is one place where they all come down to the
Together. And I think it's
Everyone is a
music which
common
is
man.
driving.
Everyone
Yeah.
is a
Two
common
common
man.
man.
And most importantly, leaving their post aside. They
Yeah.
are
Exactly.
all here for enjoying music.
Pure classical music. That
Yeah,
passion, no?
That passion.
And what we have one step taken forward
Yeah.
is we are now working throughout the calendar. So there is
Okay.
SwarZankar,
Huh.
there is Swara Mallar when it's a rainy season.
Yeah.
Mallar.
Mallar.
when it's rain.
Absolutely.
There is Swara Deepavali, so it's a
Uh-huh.
festival thing.
So around Diwali.
Lots.
Okay.
Other than that, there are certain rags which should be performed in a mehfil. Basically, classical music is temple music,
Yeah.
originated in that. So, an artist basically, when he sees artists coming for a concert,
Yeah.
or जाणकार बोलतो ना आपण,
जो
जाणकार.
जाणकार रसिक ज्याला आपण म्हणतो आणि
जाणकार
especially there are quite a few in the city of Pune.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for that, those kind of audience, we have already started with a concept called Swara Mehfil.
Swara Mehfil.
Swara Mehfil.
Mehfil.
Mehfil रहता है ना महफिल.
Mehfil. Yeah.
So in that concept, basically महफिल का
एक
मिजाज
feel
रहता
होता
है,
है.
feel
हाँ,
रहता है.
बिल्कुल.
So थोड़ा सा एक अलग रागदारी है या फिर एकदम कोर क्लासिकल का एकदम ये जो सीरियस ये रहता है.
Yeah.
सीरियस का मतलब सीरियस माहौल नहीं बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. I
It's
understand.
कोर क्लासिकल, डिफरेंट रागास और समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो अलग अलग राग सुनना है या फिर एक प्रॉपर महफिल 3 घंटे की वगैरह. सो वो दैट दोज काइंड ऑफ ऑडियंस वी आर ट्राइंग टू like what you can say, I'm not finding the right word.
But to create an ecosystem for them which is specifically of their choice to their tune
Exactly.
and what they like basically. And I have seen both of you, of course, on the day of the concert. I've seen that, as an artist and as well as an organizer, I think both of you are running from pillar to post. But I see at the end of it, the smile which was there on Panditji's face when, he got up on the stage and he said thank you, and, with his humility. Of course, he is known for his humility, which was beyond words. I think that gives you that joy that you are giving something back to the society.
Absolutely.
In today's world where
It
everything
drives
has
us.
become negative.
It drives us.
So one more thing, apart from music, which is taught by our father,
Swarajankar, yeah, by
our father
Panditji.
basically,
Sure.
is before being a good musician, you have to be a good person,
Good human being.
good human.
Yes, Dada.
Be that, and music will automatically come to you.
So things will fall in place
Of course.
as an artist.
So he doesn't have relations with artists just as a musician.
Yes.
He's known as a good person.
Yes.
Absolutely. A humble person.
Humble
is
and
what
Humility,
very
that's what I
person.
said.
So-
Shivji mentioned in the
Exactly.
written.
Yeah, and I think it's like the who's who are part of Swarajankar. I think must be a treat, right, to talk to them.
Even,
Yeah.
Girish, something that always is something which I look forward to is while even conversating with these people, that vibration created around you is your shield. Is your shield which, drives you, it gives you the power to transform any energy coming your way into a positive energy.
Ji, bilkul.
And this can only be felt.
Yes.
I mean, one cannot demand such kind of shield.
Yeah.
Today, if I wish to go ahead and organize a festival, loads of hurdles will come.
Absolutely.
But since this shield has always been there, everything has fell into place.
Absolutely.
You will never see a SwarZankar which is declared but not happening, or people are not there as an audience, or whichever city we go. Today we are there in 30 cities,
Yes, I know.
and we have an audience in every city.
Wow.
Sitting over here, I mean, that vibration is creating SwarZankar. To be
So I
fairly
think
honest with
it's your universe now. I mean, it's the universe of music, and you are offering it as a service to people
you. Yes.
in all your humble way. Be it the sponsors, be it the connoisseurs of music, and be it the audience, the lovely audience.
I do not have any sponsors. The festival does not have any sponsors. They are all well wishers.
So they are part of the Swarajankar
That's
family.
it.
Let's put it this
they
way.
are SwarZankar family.
Or can I now say, and I'm sure both of you will agree with me, that now this festival, I mean, it started in 1991, but later on, I think 2009, it
was
started more in
formulated
an
as a festival, yeah.
like a festival
Yeah,
per
yeah.
se. So Swarajankar now, I believe it's a people's festival,
Absolutely.
all put together. हा लोकांचा आनंद उत्सव आहे
अगदी.
म्युझिकचा.
अगदी.
Can we put it this way?
Yeah,
Of course you can.
absolutely.
Of course you can.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So just one last question, because this can go on and on and on, and I
I
think
know.
it's more than an hour, but fair enough. I think worthwhile. My question is, as an artist, and of course someone who have been organizing the festival with all the challenges and things like that, what is the mindset before that you go to perform on stage? I mean, what is your mindset? Do you go into a cocoon,
You are going
or
to have very
how
funny answers
how
from
does it
both of
how
us
does
over
it
here
work?
now.
So maybe Rajesh, you can start
No,
this
no,
time, or maybe Dada. Okay.
See,
Okay,
I
done.
think first of all, I get very less chance to perform,
Uh-huh.
unfortunately. But whichever I
Okay.
get, I use it to the part where I feel it as an opportunity for relaxation. If I am on stage, I am disconnected with the world, and only for that to happen, before the concert, I try to think of every other thing than music, because whatever music thought I want to explore and share should be on the stage. I
Okay.
would love to preserve whatever is coming through me on the stage,
Yeah.
and then you will see me enjoy on the stage, because everything is coming together. If I am thinking of what I'm going to play again and again and again before going on the stage, I'll mentally exhaust myself.
So just like we say in acting की method acting, तसं काही असं method music वगैरे असा प्रकार नाही की you need to get
We
into the
can't.
performance. You can't.
Because that is not something which we have been trained to. We have always been trained to explore, not to repeat.
वाह.
That is
क्या बात है?
that is something that drives us whenever personally I am on stage.
When you are playing
Yes.
during a concert.
Yes, I would love to talk about cricket just before the announcer is making announcement that
Nowadays, Tejas
Yeah.
Upadhye was
I'd
presenting.
love to check the score. I'd love to do anything else but concentrate on what I'm playing.
Absolutely.
But that's a mindset. I'm not saying that this is a precedence that everyone should follow.
But
That is
that's
the
how
mindset
you
for me.
prepare
That is
for a
what-
concert.
That is what I do before a concert.
Okay, and Dada, what about you?
So basically, there have been incidences when we had to perform and on the same day we had to manage. So
Ah.
you will see us with a violin and a bow on stage, and after an hour you will see us with walkie-talkies. Wandering
Coordinating for the
everything.
artists, the pickup drops and
So-
all those things. Yeah,
Performance, when you are called for a festival, you are invited for a festival, it's
Yeah.
a different thing. But
Yeah.
when you are organizing the festival and you have to perform, it's a big time challenge, trust me on this. Because nothing is easy, neither performing nor organizing.
managing. Yeah,
But at the same time, when organizing comes in the mind, you have to be very focused on that.
correct.
You have to look after VIPs, you have to look after the artists,
Yeah,
you have to look at the time which is passing by.
yeah.
So 10 o'clock का एक restriction का हिसाब रहता है. when you are
बिल्कुल,
going it outdoors.
बिल्कुल.
So many things. There are
Yeah.
VIPs. You have to-
Security is also
Security.
one concern. It's
Our
everything.
well-wishers, our sponsors.
Yeah,
So before I have to perform, so my mindset is just think of the rag which you are supposed to play. If I'm performing after someone, I have to see to it that the performer which was before me, I have to not take any repetitive rag.
like I
Just
said,
do
exploration.
composition.
Yeah,
You have to be spontaneous.
Correct.
Of course, there are certain things which you have to. Of course, there is a set pattern
yeah.
to what we play, but basically most of the music is spontaneous because Indian classical music has to be spontaneous.
Wonderful. Wow. My God. I think, thank you so much,
I'd like to
Rajesh.
add a
Yes,
small
please.
point.
Yes, Tejas, please. Please. Please, Dada, go ahead.
Basically, a message to all the students. मैं आपको डरा नहीं रहा हूँ कि वॉयलिन बहुत हार्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट या फिर कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट हार्ड है.
बिल्कुल.
जस्ट फोकस्ड एफर्ट्स. इफ यू लव द इंस्ट्रूमेंट वो ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा.
Welcome. So, I think audience, this can go on, and this was our musical treat for the month of June. We said it's going to be all music, and who better than, of course, my friends. I can chat with them. One is a Dada, the other is a friend. So, it works this way. But I think this is brilliant. This is what this whole family is all about. This is what music is all about. Of course, we have heard the pearls of wisdom from Panditji himself, and I think Rajesh and Tejas, I must say, from whatever that we heard from Panditji, you both are taking the legacy ahead of the Upadhye family, Violin Academy, be it Swarajankar, be it all those social causes, because I believe Swarajankar is to make people happy. That's what the whole idea is at the end of the day. So thank you so much. At the end of it, of course, you're going to see a musical surprise, a musical treat, in fact, if I may say so, from one of the previous concerts of Rajesh and Tejas Upadhye, and of course Panditji as well. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Like we said, more information on Swarajankar in the description box, more information on the Violin Academy, along with the numbers, the contact numbers of Violin Academy are there in the description box. Please connect with them. They are always ready to talk about music. I mean, that's what they love, that's what their passion is all about. So please connect with them. Please like and share this episode in your network as much as you can, and do subscribe, Learnamytes. So as Rajesh always says, I think musically yours, Learnamytes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.